you watched my video yesterday, you'll know that EA robbed me of a legendary drop after doing a stronghold. I got my masterworks. I just did not get my legendary drop. So, I uploaded the video to YouTube, I emailed it to EA, I emailed it to BioWare, and I demanded that they give me my legendary drops. Looking at the comments on my previous video from yesterday, I'm not the only one that they have done this to. So, after this update this morning, patch 1.05, a few people who had watched my video got in contact with me and told me they were given universal legendary items. Well, here I am in game to see if I got mine. I don't care what it is, as long as I got it. Let's go ahead and pick these up first.
We've been through a lot.
And I'm sorry if I start coughing in your ear or anything like that. I've got a sinus infection right now. To the forge. If I have any legendary gear, it'll be here. A component. I'd be willing to bet they gave me a POS component. That's so stupid. Seriously? Really? I mean, they gave me my masterworks, finally. I mean, I got a couple of them, but they gave me 2 more. They give me any weapons? They have... Okay, so they buffed everything. Now Masterworks go up to 61 power level. Alright. That's new. And the legendaries go up to 75. So, they did reimburse everybody. Thank you, EA, for the piece of shit reimbursement. I understand you couldn't tell exactly what everybody was going to get, because they didn't actually get them. So you just gave everybody a universal one. But that universal gear you gave everybody is garbage. Absolutely garbage. I went the wrong way. The next time something like this happens, EA, instead of giving out a garbage universal legendary to everyone, how about you just give them an engram and let the RNG decide?
Today's contract critical work.
I would much rather have let the RNG decide on what I was getting than you have given me a universal heat sink. I don't use heat sinks. It might be good for other players, but as far as my playstyle goes, I don't use them. I have figured out the pathways fairly well, so I can generally get anywhere on the map without having to land. Generally. Not always. There are a few spots where you're gonna have to land because there aren't any waterfalls or big puddles of water to drop into and then fly out of. So, let's see what else they added. Quick play strongholds. It's a random stronghold. That's cool. Did they add any more missions? What did I see? Okay, so it was just a bug or just a quick fix to give everybody their loot that they lost out on. Well, you guys suck for giving me a piece of shit universal. I don't do heat sinks. I don't. Period. I don't do heat sinks. They're a waste of space where I could be using another item or component that actually boosts my damage output and actually boosts my armor. How are you going to have a legendary? I mean, let's just go back to this right quick. Right quick. How do you have a legendary item that's got less armor reinforcement than the other Masterworks? Seriously. This increases javelin armor by a large amount. 1492. It's it. My defensive bulwark gives me a boost to 2164. And then we go over to the legendary one, and it's even lower? It's lower than the masterwork component? How does that even make sense, EA? That should be higher than any of the masterwork components' armor boosts. Period. Completely. Period. These two numbers, the armor reinforcement and shield reinforcement, should be well above 2164 instead of being below 2164. So there you have it, EA. There's another bug for you. Another bug you need to fix. There is no way a legendary component should have less of an armor boost than its masterwork counterparts. And when I say counterparts, I mean, here's the legendary, here's the masterwork version. Actually, let's just make this simple. Let's equip that. Bam. There we go. I am going to go back to my defensive bulk word, but just to give everybody a look at what they're looking at. So if you compare it to its masterwork component, it is better. However, if you compare it to other masterworks, it sucks. 2164, 2164, 2164, 2164, 2164. All of them, except for these two, are at 2164. This, excuse me. Ow. This being an ammo boost I understand the lack of an armor reinforcement or shield reinforcement. But this, specifically being an armor boost, should be higher than all of the other masterwork, armor, and shield reinforcement numbers. This is specifically, the symbiotic surge is specifically an armor boost. So why are those numbers lower than every other masterwork in the game? It is higher than its epic universal component, or its epic component. But still, I mean, really? You're gonna give me a not even 1500 boost in my armor. When it's supposed to be specifically an armor boost. Like this one here shouldn't be 2111. In my opinion, both numbers should be around $3,000. Why? Because the masterwork component is at 2164. Alright, your epic components, well, I can't really see those specific numbers, but they're at 113. Alright, let's just take the armor one for example. 746 to a jump of 1492. Or better yet, because I used the defensive bulwark, 2164. So from 700 to $2,000. That's a 1,300 point increase. Why can't you have the same increase on your legendary items? I actually get more of an increase and more of an armor boost by using my masterworks or my crappier gear than I do by using my legendary gear. Now, being a universal component, it will probably go on my other javelins. But that number should still be a lot higher. If we're just going to go with that one, that last number I named, the 1,300 point increase in armor rating, then let's add 1,300 to the 2164. And what do we get? We get 34. 64. That I would be happy with. That I would not mind equipping, even though the ability on it, in my opinion, sucks. I wouldn't mind equipping it because it actually does give me a boost in armor. So, here's a tip, EA and BioWare. If you want to keep your player base, buff the legendary drops. Buff the drop rate. Not just not just the enemies that can drop the stuff, but the actual drop rate itself. From my calculations and from what other people have calculated, the drop rate for legendary items is a 0.05%. That is so stupid low that you could play this game for years and not get one legendary drop. Seriously, a 0.05%. You'd have to. That's millions of legendary enemies you have to kill just so they'll drop one legendary item. Fix your drop rate itself. Quit adding more enemies that could possibly drop legendaries and just fix the drop rate. Buff it. Make it a 2% chance. I don't care. A 2% chance is way better than a 0.05% chance. Yes, you heard me right. By my calculations, it is a 0.05. That is 0.05%. I applaud you for giving us our masterworks and legendary gear that we missed out on. And doing it very quickly. However, I would have been much happier with a random number generated legendary than I am with this piece of crap armor boost that has lower numbers than the masterwork components I use. Buff your legendary armor reinforcements, buff the legendary drop rates, and I have no more complaints. None whatsoever. You've fixed almost everything else. I played all day yesterday. Not once did I get kicked to the main menu. Not once was I removed from the fire team or the party or the squad or whatever you want to call it. None of it. Not once. The only problem I had yesterday was I was not getting the drops that it said I was getting. I got a few of the masterworks, but I didn't get the legendary. And then you give me a universal, garbage universal component. It's not even, I wouldn't even use it to raise my power level. I would not. It's just, it's that garbage. It sucks that much. I will not take, no, I'm not going to take that hit at all in the armor rating, especially because I actually get more of a boost in my damage with the components I'm currently using. So again, one last time before I end this broadcast, live stream, whatever, EA, BioWare, you guys need to sit down, figure out why your legendary armor buffs are lower than the masterwork components. And you also need to sit there and figure out how to increase the drop rate without making it stupid. Alright, I don't want a 50% drop rate or anything like that. I understand you want everybody to grind for the legendary gear. But a 0.05% drop rate is absolutely ridiculous. If you were asking people to spend more money in this game, I would relate y'all to Kabam, where they're charging $100 for one crystal so you get a feature hero. Talking about Marvel Contest of Champions now, just as an example. About 6 months ago, they were asking $100 for a legendary crystal. That's a hero crystal. You open it and you get a champion you can use to fight with. The drop rate for the featured hero was a 0.01%. And you're asking us to spend $100 on that crystal for a 0.01% chance at getting the actual hero you wanted? That's kind of what we're talking about here. The drop rate is so stupid low that you could literally kill millions and millions of enemies and not get a single legendary. You could literally go through hundreds of strongholds and not get a single legendary. I understand that's where perks like luck come in play. But even with a 100% boost in luck, you're at a 0.1% chance to get legendary drops. And that's even if the enemy itself is allowed to drop legendaries. Not to mention, I've been a Masterwork Ranger for the last few days. I've been playing Grandmaster 1 for the last week. In the last patch, they promised that the white and the green gear is going to go away. It's not going to drop anymore for me. But I'm still getting more common stuff than I do anything else. I appreciate your prompt response on getting these issues fixed, but you really do need to buff the drop rates for legendaries. I get Masterworks like they're nothing. Alright, I've got so many pieces of gear that boost my luck, it's ridiculous. So I get Masterworks like they are nothing. It's the legendary gear I need, and it's the legendary gear everybody is after. So instead of adding more enemies that boost, that could give you a higher possibility because there's more enemies that drop them, so now you have more chances at getting them, just buff the freaking drop rate itself. Give us a 1% chance or a 2% chance. At least with those two numbers, we know out of 100 legendary enemies we kill, we will get at least one legendary item. And with the 2%, that lowers it to 50. Buff the fucking drop rate. Period. That's all you need to do at this point, is buff the drop rates of legendary gear. Anyway, thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one. I'm out.